authorities, commissioners, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, buongiorno a tutti. It's a pleasure to welcome you back in Milan. We are some 10 minutes late and the lunchtime is near, so I'll try to talk not too long. After all, a golden rule for a speaker is leave your audience before your audience leaves you. Anyway, we have worked hard to prepare this event and to update you on our project. Today, there are 933 days left before the opening of Expo Milano 2015. That is a big project, a huge investment in the future of the area, of the city of Milan, of the Lombardy region, and of the whole of Italy. And this is very much your project also. Over the past year, it has become more and more our joint project, because some of you have signed a participation contract, Germany and Switzerland. Some other will do so on Friday, and thank you for your trust and cooperation. Many have selected exhibition spaces that will host your pavilions. Most of you have started working on theme statements and exhibition projects, and many emails have been exchanged. Numerous calls have connected us from one side of the planet to another. And what is important, names and email addresses are now linked to real faces. So many of you have already taken a few steps in the journey towards Expo Milano 2015. It may be worth to recall the various steps of the whole process to the benefit of everybody in this room. In the beginning, the Italian government has sent an official invitation to participate in Expo 2015. Then the official response to that invitation is the first step for those countries and organizations that have not yet confirmed their participation. The second step is the nomination of the Commissioner General so that he or she can start discussing with the Expo 2015 company. Then they should start working on your theme statement as well as select the exhibition space you would like to occupy. Obviously, the Expo Milano company will be closely collaborating with you all the way, and you will learn more about the theme statement process tomorrow. The participation contract is the following step, and it is a very important one, and the overall exhibition project follows once the participation is finalized in all its components. So, I was saying that we have got to know each other, have met throughout the year, have exchanged ideas and advice, and we feel we are in this together. 1,050 of you have registered to be with us during this second international participant meeting. It is a remarkably high number, and we feel honored and motivated by it. Your continuous interest and engagement, coupled with the undiminished support by the Italian government, despite the difficult times our economies are experiencing, are two factors that have given us strength during the past year, when we feel that the participant and the host government have believed in this Expo and continue to believe in it. We have also always felt the solid support of the BAE. This is what is most important to us, and we expect that your trust will only be renewed after what you will see and learn during the next working session. And thank you again for being here. It will be a 3-day journey along the newly developed elements of this Expo. We will present you what we have been working on, and you will provide us with your precious feedback on how to best achieve our common goals. Now, going back to the basics, Expo Milano 2015 will take place from May 1st to October 31st, 2015. Those will be 184 days of great learning and fun for many million visitors and of great work for all of us. As you know, our target is 130 participating countries. Let me now come to the core focus of this session, the status of the works and the advancement in the design and building of the master plan. This afternoon, you will visit for the first time the area where the Expo site will be built, but so where your pavilions will be built. You will have the opportunity to see the area as it is now, and it is a formerly agricultural land ideally located at the crossroad of the major highways and railways of northern Italy. The visit will provide you with a first sense of the layout and of the advancement of the works. This is an area with highly developed infrastructure, which makes it one of the most accessible parts of the Lombardy region. It is at the center of the wider metropolitan area of Milan, along the northwest historical development axis of the city. And take note that the three airports of Malpensa, Linate, and Orio, where an average of 1,000 planes land every day, are at the distance of 1 hour or less by car. We foresee that 56% of our visitors will access the Expo site from the west entrance. It is on the blue and green area on the left-hand side of the map, which is located besides the subway and high-speed train stops. The rest of the visitors will access the site from the east entrance on the right-hand side of the map in yellow, where the parking lot for coaches and connected buses will be. Visitors coming to the Expo will, by definition, visit an area that goes beyond the Expo site. This is why we are working to integrate the support to the visit in the overall system of infrastructure and services throughout the smart cities concept. This is a reason for which I leave the floor to Valerio Zingarelli, General Manager, Technology and Technical Services for the Expo Milano 2015 company, who will tell you more about the smart city with the help of a couple of interesting videos. Thank you. I would like now to continue by illustrating some of the master plan key features so that you will be able to appreciate at best the tour of the site. The overall surface of the Expo site covers around 1 million square meters, and the master plan is designed around a set of key elements. The exhibition spaces for participating countries, as well as Palazzo Italia and Delegato for the participation of Italy. The 5 thematic areas, the exhibition areas for non-official participants, Cascina Triulza, and the spaces for corporate participation. The areas for events, the Expo Center, the Open Air Theater, and the Lake Arena, and the service areas and facilities. As you may recall, our master plan is configured as an island surrounded by a canal. It looks very much like a swimming fish, as you can see, and this is why my staff started naming the master plan as simply the fish. It is organized along 2 strongly symbolic perpendicular axes, the decumanus and the cardo of the traditional Roman cities, and the exhibition spaces of participant countries will be located along the decumanus, a 1.5 kilometer long boulevard called the World Avenue. The cardo is the shorter axis and will host the exhibition spaces of the Italian institution. At the intersection of the Decumanus and the Cardo, there will be a wide, welcoming piazza, Piazza Italia, where Italy will meet and greet the world. Now, about half of the Expo site is constituted by green and open areas, in particular the hill, which will present a Mediterranean scenery, the canal and the wetland areas, the gardens in front of the service areas, and all the green and open rest and relaxation areas. They will contribute to create a unique landscape of Expo Milano 2015, together with the green and open areas in your exhibition spaces. Now, in order to focus on the areas of interest for participants, we have prepared a graphic rendering of all exhibition areas within the site. The map highlights the placement of exhibition spaces allocated to official and non-official participants, as well as to thematic areas. As you can see, exhibition spaces represent the vast majority of the whole site. Considering that area, the spaces for countries amount to 75% of the total, and this gives you a huge responsibility, as visitors will absorb the theme of the Expo mostly in your pavilions, while non-official participants will cover 80%, and the thematic areas 17% of the total. Going more in detail on the spaces allocated to official participants, around 130,000 square meters are dedicated to self-built exhibition spaces along the World Avenue. We have a target of 60 self-built spaces. In the map, they are marked in light blue. Around 40,000 square meters are devoted to the 9 thematic clusters for a target of 70 participating countries in dark blue. Clusters. As you know, the clusters will be a sort of thematic villages, and you will have the opportunity to see the projects and learn about them tomorrow. Here, you can see a sample of a very captivating design of the clusters. Now, coming to the exhibition spaces for non-official participants, I will present the example of the exhibition space for civil society organization, hosted by the refurbished farmstead of Cascina Triulza. The building is a beautiful example of traditional architecture of the rural areas that surrounded Milan in the past centuries. Cascina Triulza will host exhibition spaces covering about 10,000 square meters and will be renovated according to modern standards, yet maintaining its peculiar traditional character. Coming to exhibition space dedicated to thematic areas, I will refer as an example to the area that we call Pavilion Zero, a sort of introductory space at the outset of the visit of the Expo. The Pavilion Zero will present visitors with a core set of questions on feeding the planet. And here you can see an initial sketch, and you will hear more about it tomorrow. In the Pavilion Zero, we will present the history of food and a repertoire of everything can be eaten by human beings. We come now to the areas dedicated to events, starting with the Expo Center. The Expo Center will be located at the main entrance of the Expo site. The Expo Center is a structure covering about 260,000 square meters, which will comprise spaces for events, such as an auditorium, conference rooms, and meeting rooms, an area of about 3,000 square meters as a giant stage on which various types of performances can flexibly be accommodated, and the main operation center of the Expo site. In terms of location for events, the auditorium will be capable of hosting 1,500 people, and the square around the giant stage will be able to accommodate up to 2,000 people. The open-air theater will be located towards the secondary entrance of the Expo site at the southern end of the Cardo. The open-air theater is the biggest event venue in the Expo site, with the capacity to accommodate up to 12,000 people, including 3,000 seats for concerts, performances, and events. One of the venues for great outdoor events will be the Lake Arena, located at the northern end of the Cardo, a natural spot of beautiful scenery which visitors enjoy at all times, as a refreshing promenade during the day, and as a set for light and water shows, movies projection, concerts, and much more at night. We come now to the areas dedicated to services and the infrastructures. The first one, the International Media Center, will be located halfway through the Expo site. The International Media Center will host a polyfunctional spaces and offices for the national and international media, including TV studios and highly technological content production labs. The press conference hall will have the capacity to host up to 350 people, with 240 fully functional desks for journalists and offices to accommodate up to 28 press agencies. The service areas will be located throughout the site. They will be 14 and will host services and facilities for visitors and participants, such as restrooms, cafes and restaurants, ATM facilities, shops, meeting points, and safety and security areas. Fine, we are coming now to the main access of the Expo site. The western entrance will be connected to the public transportation facility through a bridge linking the Expo site and the area of the Pero Fairground. A second bridge will be built to link the staff village at Cascina Merlata with the Expo site in proximity to the southern edge of the Cardo and the open-air theater. The walkway connecting the Expo site with the fairground is 500 meters long, and it is expected to be the entry point for up to 20% of the total visitor to the site. And the bridge overall capacity is 18,000 people per hour. The Cascina Merlata Bridge will be reserved access for participants and staff accommodated at the staff village of Cascina Merlata. The bridge will take people from the staff village to the site in a matter of only a few minutes, and this will make it very comfortable for all of you to reach your exhibition areas from your apartments and to finally go home at night. You will learn more about the staff village facilities tomorrow afternoon. Now let me come to a key elements in our preparation of the Expo site. Our sustainability goals. We are committed to reach high performance targets so that Expo Milano 2015 becomes a benchmark for future events. We ask you to join us in this challenge and abide to the same standards. Sustainability is a central pillar of Expo Milano 2015. Its principles and criteria must be applied during the whole life cycle of the event, during the design, construction and planning phase, in all operations, and in dismantling and closure. Our main objectives for the exhibition site are mitigation to reduce potential negative effects on the environment and the local community, compensation of CO2 emissions and loss in ecological value of lost areas through local projects, and prevention and green criteria for products, services, and other activities. And finally, we come now to the status of the work in the Expo site. I would like to update you on the advancement on the most intense activity on the Expo on the site so far, the removal of interferences. Work has started about 11 months ago, and we are proceeding as planned toward the deadline of November 2013. Most of what you will see on site this afternoon relates to the following removal of interferences activities: the creation of a new perimeter traffic system, the so-called loop, 10 kilometers long, as well as walk and cycle paths, the rearrangement of infrastructure such as parking areas and plaza, the deviation of water courses, and the completion to the Eastern Access Road Bridge, and the rearrangement of landscape and green areas. With relation to the advancement of the Expo site construction, we come to the works related to the platform. We have finalized the tender on the platform over the summer on schedule, and the works have started last month. This is the biggest and most complex tender of all. To give you an idea, works will continue until June 2014, and the maximum number of workers on site at peak of activities will be over 1,500 people. The main activities of the platform creation will be the demolishing of existing buildings within the areas, the completion of underground utilities, the creation of the hill, the building of the canopies structure, the establishment of the thematic areas. I would like now to provide you with some information on the visit to the site of this afternoon. All delegates invited to visit the Expo site will be accommodated on small vans, and will receive a map of the site and a leaflet containing the renderings of the various built structures. One staff illustrating the Expo site's parts and providing explanation will be on board of every van. The same staff will be available, of course, to respond to your questions at the end of the visit. We have also placed 7 signposts within the site to help you locating where the most important venues will be. In particular, the vans will stop: 1, along the highway 14 connecting Milan to Turin for an overview of the site; 2, at the Ropero Fireground Complex, where you will see the access to the subway and railway station; 3, at the West Gate and the pedestrian bridge Fireground Expo, the main entrance; 4, at the future food district, one of the thematic areas, and at the open air theater; 5, at the hill; 6, at the lake arena; and finally 7, at the Cascina Triulza. You should imagine everything, of course. And we will help you with some figures and some pictures. We will then find out your way back, passing beside the East Gate and entrance where the parking lots are here. We have now come to the end of this presentation and the first long session of these international participant meetings. I'm sure you have already received quite a handful of information and are eager for more. There will be more later. Let's enjoy your lunch, our lunch, in the spectacular framework of the cloister. And thank you very much for your attention.